right in here, we've got a bump. And that's, normally you'd see that with just the thread tag, but the tag end of the silk thread just coming up through the main thread. But considering that I went ahead and trimmed all that stuff off before, I made sure that the thread tags were gone before I put the finish on. So this is just the first coat of finish anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to document how I do some of my finish work. I'm using a two, let me see if I can just get it out here and show you. So I'm using a two-part epoxy finish, and this one is, let me see if I can get it in the frame. So this is Threadmaster Light formula. Okay, that's my preference. So on my first coat, I normally thin that anyway, so you're mixing those 1-to-1, 2 parts. You're mixing these 1-to-1. And what I will normally do is go ahead and mix 2 milliliters of each. I will add 1 milliliter of denatured alcohol. And that mix tends to give me the right viscosity. The downside to that is that you have to let the alcohol evaporate completely during the curing process. You can't just go ahead and put another coat of finish on while it's semi-wet. It has to gas off. Otherwise you're going to have bubbles in your next coat. So it does add more time, but I feel like, this is like the one thing that we can control when we're building rods is our finish and our thread work. So I'm going to try to fix this and see if I can document it as we go. I probably have some others. I normally go through and go ahead and take a razor blade and cut, just trim it down, and then I will often wet sand before the final coat. But since I'm going to be putting some alignment dots on here, and I'm going to document that as well, I'll show you how I do that. Yeah, so let me just pause and start off again with a different angle. So I'm just going to start by just trimming off the big bumps. It looks pretty hideous when you do it. But believe me, the next coat of finish is going to completely cover that. And so I'm going to go ahead and check all my other wraps and do the same thing. I'm almost clean this one up. This is my normal process. This makes people cringe sometimes. But, I didn't come up with this. This is a pretty standard thing, especially in the bamboo world, for trimming. I mean, that's where I learned it, was watching guys do silk wraps on bamboo and watching how they we'll go back and leave the tag ends, put that first coat of thin finish on there, and then go back, and when that tag end was brittle, you know, you can just touch it with a blade and it comes right off nice and clean. But I really don't know what happened here, but that's okay. It's looking good. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. I'm all about making mistakes. Okay, that one looks like it's ready for wet sanding. So I'm going to turn off the camera, check the other thread wraps, and then show you how I wet sand.